What's up? My name is Faye, and this is the gender tag. You might be a little slanted because you're balanced on a rock. Not going to explain it. Gender identity. What is my gender identity, and how would I define it? I am non-binary, I am trans, and I am demi-boy. So what you have is this nice umbrella of trans. Not everyone that's non-binary identifies as trans. Not everybody that's trans identifies as non-binary. Wow, this is like muscle straining. Let's do it like this. Okay, so you have your umbrella. Trans being not identifying as the gender that you were assigned to at birth. Then non-binary being you don't identify as the binary of male or female, men's or women's or man's. And then demi-boy being you identify more to the masculine spectrum, but you're also not completely a man's. That is me. It's kind of like I grew up a tomboy and then I turned into a demi-boy, but tomboy is an inaccurate statement because tomboy references more to gender expression, which is like I dress more masculinely, whereas demi-boy is more like I identify as not a woman's and not a man's, but also closer to a man's. So yeah. What pronouns honor you? I use he, they, they. So, as part of being demi-boy and being non-binary, I use sort of like they, but also he. And then Faye is a really great one. Whenever you're not sure of someone's pronouns, you can just use their name. So, like, Faye did this, Faye self did, Faye to blah, 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 something like that. Okay, describe the style of clothing that you most often wear. So, this is pretty true to what I wear. Snapbacks, I'm a piece of shit. And then like a more gender neutral shirt. This is actually more feminine than I normally wear with the V. I don't know why it's feminine to me, but anyways. And then just some joggers. I also will often wear like black skinny jeans that are ripped with like a baggy t-shirt. So you get like that hipster vibe. I don't know, I like the aesthetic. Talk about your choices with body hair. So, I would totally grow like a shaggy little thing here, but I can't. And even if I took testosterone, I probably wouldn't be able to because I'm Asian. And then my hair right now is a mess, but it's short. Pretty much is what you should be getting of. I wanted to get a side swept sort of thing going on, and my hairdresser was like, "Oh, is this your side part?" I was like, "Yeah," and then she just shaved off the side part. And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I have Asian hair, so like, I've been growing it out, but it's so spiky if it's short. It gets real, like, mad spiky. So I've been parting it on this side, and usually it's styled, but I used a lot of product yesterday, so I was like, I'm gonna give my hair a break, and it's just not. And then I would shave everything if I wasn't so lazy, like everything else besides my eyebrows and up. Talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What types of soaps or perfumes do you use? No makeup. If I do, it's for a joke. And then for like soaps and perfumes, it's either gender neutral or men's. I have sensitive skin, so I really don't like to use a lot of strong products. I like all natural. So yeah, I sometimes use like an avocado with some olive oil and salt, and I just decorate my face. And I leave that on there for about 12 hours while I'm sleeping. And then I like to top it off with some like peanut butter all over my skin. It really like just, it gets in the pores really nicely and it just rejuvenates and I look so young. No, that is, yeah. as you can see, I am very, very lazy. I will not do anything that is out of my way. Even deodorant sometimes I don't use because it's too much effort. But yeah, that's the gist. And nails, I'll do my nails for the celebration of a different season, except for summer because I don't recognize that as a season. It's not a nice season at all. It's like hot, humid, sweaty, a lot of like not being able to breathe, heavy air, a lot of heavy air, and I'm a lifeguard, so like being outside all the time when I don't like bugs. I hate summer. Have you ever experienced being misgendered? This question should be more like, do you get misgendered every day? If so, yes, and yes. I usually get she, and, or I get dude or man. And while I am demi boy, so that's preferable, I am also not your man's, and I'm not your dude, because it's understandable for, like, people to see, like, especially with, like, my partner and I are out, we just look like a bunch of butch lesbians, and it's, like, the most annoying thing, but also completely understandable. So yeah, I think the worst part is, being back where my family misgenders me, whereas at school I had an entire, like, rugby team and, like, pride group that would gender me correctly. So I'm just a little more sensitive to that question. Do you experience dysphoria? How does that affect you? Dysphoria is like an up and down sort of thing, just like body confidence in general. I think for right now, dysphoria gets worse when I watch like YouTube videos of people that have had top surgery. I'd really like to get top surgery. I don't use a binder just because I don't have the money to pay for a binder right now, so I just use like sports bras. But mostly the dysphoria has to do with like fat distribution. I really like hate how like fat is distributed on my body. Even though my body's very like sort of agender in the way that I have small boobs and a small butt, but at the same time it's kind of like my face gives me away very easily. And then I'd really like to start like testosterone in the fall because I'd rather be seen like as a man than a woman just because it's more comfortable, even though that's not my identity, but I would prefer that. And I dress more masculinely, so I'd be more accepted into society as like a man, I guess. So yeah, that's a lot of the dysphoria is like social dysphoria, which isn't talked about as often, which is just kind of like feeling like an outsider basically, which isn't just like the whole like cliques and conformity. It's more like feeling like I have to put up a wall in front of anyone that isn't like trans, and that might be like, I don't know, unhealthy, but I guess I have trouble trusting people because of that, so we can talk about that later. Talk about children. Never do I want a human being inside of me. Well, actually, let me retract that sentence. Never would I want a baby growing inside of me. It freaks me out that they like kick and like they let you know that they're alive in there. Also, I wouldn't want them to be dead, but also like it's like an alien just taking over your body. I don't want it ever. I'm adopted, so I am 100% Chinese, but my family is 100% Italian, so I don't really care about like genetics and genetic makeup as much as just the true family environment, even though that's questionable these days. Okay. Talk about money. Is it important for you to provide? Okay. The thing with money is like if I am making more money than you are, then I'm going to pay for more things just so that's equal. If you're making more money than I am, then I expect you to pay for more things because it's equal. I don't need a provider. I don't need to be a provider. I just think that we should be contributing to the amount that we can contribute. So yeah. Anything else? So the main thing that I would want anyone to take away from this is that there are so many identities, and you don't have to know them all. You just have to be able to respect that if someone says that they identify as that, that's their identity. Just as simple as someone saying, I like chocolate ice cream, or I like vanilla ice cream. Same thing. Another thing is to my younger self, you don't have to know everything right away. Take your time. Experiment. Use different pronouns. Use different names. If you're around the right people, it should be easy. If it's hard, I'm so sorry, but as cheesy as it is, it does get better. College is a great place to find sort of your people. And let me see what else. To allies, the best way that you can be an ally is just to be able to respect those people's identities and pronouns, and also it really helps if you correct someone when that person isn't around, just because that validates their identity. It lets that person remain that identity in a different space that they can't be around, I guess. What else? Oh, yes, and the main thing to all trans youth, to anyone that doesn't fit under the majority, is do not ever, ever sacrifice your comfort for the comfort of others, okay? Don't give a fuck about what other people feel or, think, or their prejudices, because at the end of the day, the only thing that will make you happy is yourself. So yes, that is pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's a great ending. Peace.